Welcome to the Go Pitch Win podcast, the show where entrepreneurs pitch their best business ideas to our industry leaders. Each week, one will move forward towards the grand prize, $10,000. One winner. So get ready. And now, here's your host, Greg Mercer.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Go Pitch Win. I'm your host, Greg Mercer, and I am joined by guest judge Laura Roeder. Laura is the founder of Meet Edgar, a social media automation tool designed to prevent status updates from going to waste. Laura has given talks at conferences like Blog Her and South by Southwest and has spoken about the value of independent entrepreneurship at the White House. She's also appeared in Forbes, Fast Company, Mashable, CNET, and other major publications. Laura, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to hear about these wine glasses.
I am excited as well. We are joined by Stephanie and Michael from Poolside Creations, and they are today pitching us their business idea of unbreakable wine glasses. Stephanie, Michael, how are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Fantastic, thank you.
I'm fangirling out a little bit right now, so I'm just gonna let Michael introduce himself first while I compose.
It's time for today's business idea.
I am Michael, certified sommelier, recovering chef of 20 years now. I'm the co-founder of Poolside Creations. Stephanie is the founder of Poolside Creations. Very talented young woman here. Met in Hawaii, got married there, moved to Oregon where we are currently, and that's when we started the business.
Yep. So I guess I am the founder. Michael is my partner in life and crime and business, and I could not do any of this without him. He's been like with me every step of the way, and there's no way I could ever do this on my own. So thank you. Greg, you put win in the title of this competition. So I followed your lead, and I have personally done 2 poolside case studies. The first one's a little bit longer. We'll go through that, and then I'm going to roll into the second one. So, case study number 1, Poolside Creations, how to enter a competitive niche and crush it. Almost 2 years ago, I'm an active member on Quora. It's kind of a geeky site. I don't know if you're aware of it, but there's a lot of FBA sellers on there. And I got a link to the Jungle Sticks case study through there, and I was like on my commute to my boring corporate job and, reading this Quora thing, and I followed the link and was like, whoa, like mind blown. And then I made Michael read it.
Yeah, no idea that this was even a stream of revenue, really like opened up our eyes. So yeah, we got Jungle Scout. We looked at some of the data just because we were super curious. And then, we got to that point where we decided, yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to choose a product, but we couldn't decide. So we had analysis paralysis at that point. So we were literally sitting at the dinner table one day, and we're having a glass of wine with dinner, and I broke it, which I have a tendency to do. And that was like the aha moment. So that was the item.
Yeah, we were like, okay, eureka. So the first thing we did was get on to Jungle Scout, and we looked at all of the data, and I was like, whoa. Okay, so A, huge demand. B, super competitive marketplace, like wholly competitive marketplace. Huge, enormous list of products. But we have something that I feel like nobody else in that marketplace has, which is a very intimate knowledge of the unbreakable wine glass market. So
we essentially took every rule that you said not to do for a market. We destroyed that rule, disregarded them completely. One of the competitors in there had 2,500 reviews, and we still went there. But we had a better product.
Yeah.
We had a much better product.
So you want to go through some of the products?
I looked at stuff that was flimsy. I looked at stuff that was bent. I looked at stuff that was squishy. I looked at stuff that was cloudy. And we found someone that could produce a wine glass out of Triton that was actually a wine glass. So this has a really classic sort of Cabernet shape. It has a nice bowl, it has a nice mouth on it, and it actually lets the wine do what wine's supposed to do.
The wine geek out forever, so I'm gonna stop it in there. He's got a fancy paper behind us. He's had like hundreds of hours of training in this. So I read all of the reviews of all of the products, and I was like, okay, well, most of the reviews are really pretty bad, even for the high quality one of these. So we had what we thought would be a better product, and I looked through the reviews, and the word I found consistently in the reviews was Poolside.
Next step, find a supplier. We've got a lot of experience doing this. That was easy.
Yeah. Both have lots of multinational corporate experience, so those couple steps were super easy, going through the jungle sticks thing, like finding a supplier, choosing a supplier, inspecting samples. Michael inspected all the samples.
Negotiating everything, getting all the photographs. And then we got to launching.
Our product was almost ready to be shipped, and my supplier's email got hacked. And I received an email asking for a Western Union payment. And it was like 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Freak out. Okay. Called her on Skype. Gotta fix this. Okay. Well, that caused us to push into Golden Week because everybody had things to deal with. Our shipping missed. Then we missed the December cutoff, and then we didn't launch Poolside until January 6th of last year. So, epic fail. Launching a product called Poolside on January 6th, kind of hard.
You know what? 0 sales for an entire month kind of hurts. It was a donut. It was not pretty.
So the pay-per-click episode, again, an epic fail. Epic fail. So we went through 2 months of like, and then I woke up on March 2nd of last year, and I was commuting to my boring job, and I looked at my email, and I got an email from you, Greg, and the title of that email was, when is it time to abandon your product? And I was like, oh, this is a very appropriate time for this. And I clicked on it. And it's a very short podcast. And there's only like 2 minutes. But you know what you said? You said, you know what you got to lose? Like, go for it, be bullish, bully your way to the top. And I was like, oh, hey. All right, well, you know what? Like, Greg told me to be competitive. Like, all right, I'm going to, like, go take names. Like, no holds barred. So I dived into pay-per-click because I was like, obviously I'm missing something here. And I learned it real fast. And all of a sudden,
we're at the beach and we're having a glass of wine and it's selling. It's selling like crazy.
So this is literally what happened. I'm, like, looking at my app and I'm like, what? Wait, I had like no sales, and I have like 20 sales. And I was like, well, you know, Greg said to look for 10, but I just got 20. Like, wait a second. Maybe our branding finally kicked in. Like, I don't know. So thanks for that episode. That was like super the kick in the pants that I needed at the time to like make me not throw in the towel on Poolside. So then next episode, gathering reviews. I also hit the time of Amazon where they like really like cut back on how much email communication you could have with your customers. But all of a sudden the organic reviews started rolling in and people were just gushing about the product. And I was like, wow, okay, great. Any negative review, I responded and was like, you know, here's my customer service response, and people would contact me and I would respond to them. So I read all my reviews. One of my absolute favorite reviews is from a person who wrote, we have a family member with a neurological issue and they can't hold glasses because of that. And these things are a godsend to our family. And so Michael and I used to volunteer at our local nursing home, and we used to take our little old folks from the nursing home down to the beach and barbecue for them and all of the rest. And I don't know if you know what institutional glassware looks like.
They're terrible.
But these things are actually really expensive. And
yeah, they're not They're not nice.
But they're ugly. Like,
they're sturdy.
Yeah, they're sturdy, but they're super ugly. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to drink out of this. I don't want to feel like I'm in prison. Like, no, I don't think so. I love my little old folks, and I love that I have customers from nursing homes. I have customers from kids, camps with kids with disabilities. So that's like what makes my little heart like really into this, is not just that we're, making wine glasses that are fancy for fancy people, but also, that someone with issues that we cannot comprehend can actually have this nice wine glass in their hand and feel human.
Yeah, there's a lot of
and feel classy
that goes along with that.
So next step, officially rank for Amazon keywords. I have the top seller badge for a couple of keywords. So I failed fast at pay-per-click. I learned it real fast, and I was totally neglecting a couple of my top keywords because I thought they sounded cheap, and so I wasn't going for them. And I dove into the data, and I was like, oh, wait, here we go. And I targeted those keywords, and it worked. So
it worked.
It worked.
Really, really well.
Really, really well.
So much so that, you're not supposed to lose sales because you run out of stock. And we did 4 times. Completely ran out of stock. And every time, my corporate mind would go back to, oh, what's the run rate been? Okay, and then recalculate the run rate and do another order. Now the run rate's twice as much as that run rate was, and I can't get it. It was frustrating.
Poor planning for Q4 also. I sold out by December 15th, and we wound up doing 6 figures in 6 months last year, even with running out of inventory 4 times. So, recap that. We crushed it in a competitive market. Case study number 2, Poolside Creations. Following the lead of the $1 million case study, when you announced the $1 million case study, I was like, oh, I'm in. And I bought this book, The $1 Million One-Person Business, which I highly recommend. I will send you a copy. We went and locked ourselves in a hotel room.
Yeah, with some wine and our wine glasses. And we decided, if we're going to do this, let's just do this. So we found 2 more products. These 2 products, which are also coming very soon. So we've got a champagne flute and a rocks glass, both of them very classy, both of them the same high quality of our others, which will be showing up in the next 4 to 6 weeks to the market. Hopefully-ish.
Maybe sooner.
Yeah, maybe sooner. It's not far off.
I wouldn't be showing you them if they weren't coming real soon. However, what's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
So,
we can't tell you what's in the box. But it's also coming.
In the process of getting these 2 products, I found a 3rd product that, it's totally different, but it fully complements the line. And it so fits the brand, and I just, accidentally found it and was like, oh, another eureka moment. So we're launching a 4th product. So we're all in on this $1 million Poolside Creations. We built a Shopify store. Michael made our first wholesale.
First wholesale sale was yesterday, which is great. There's also this.
I also have a social media and launch plan that I've been testing.
Everything is trademarked.
Trademarked. Received the trademark. Yeah, that's going. That's normally hung up on the wall. And I've been testing my launch strategies.
And the launch strategy is pretty good.
This is today. And this is all after I ran out of Q4 inventory and had to air freight. And I air freighted, and then I sold out again while my container was coming, and I was like, ah! So yeah, launch strategies tested. However, I lost my full-time job 2 weeks ago. So that's been kind of bankrolling this. I mean, we both have been paying the bills, and this has been just rolling every penny we can from Poolside, back into Poolside. So what would this money do for our business? I don't want to have another epic failure of a launch. I have a huge launch plan and 2 full containers of product on the way. And I've got to figure out how to execute this. So we're kind of, this is a year since your kick in the pants to me of go bullish and bully your way up there. And I kind of need a kick in the pants from you guys. So here is my final pitch. If you guys pick us, I want the Jungle Scout community to have input into the charitable contributions that we're going to make to camps for kids with disabilities and nursing homes, both very dear to our heart. Secondly, when we hit our goal of 7 figures, when we're $1 million sellers, we're going to turn around and we're going to give the 10K back. And we're going to sponsor the next round of this competition. My only condition to that is that we get to be guest judges. That's my promise.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
We loved it.
Probably one of the, or it is the most entertaining pitch so far. So kudos on that. Very inspiring story. Very fun to read, to listen to. With that, though, we have some questions.
First, financials, profit, total sales.
So the basic financials, I got to run my numbers again because they started going crazy. So I basically did no sales until April of last year. The 6 figures that I did was from May until December 15th or so.
6 figures, can you share how much?
I'm going to have to keep that under wraps.
Okay.
So it's not a huge 6-figure number.
Okay, I'm getting the hint.
It's over 100K, but it's under 200K.
Okay. Okay, and what kind of profit did that bring, or no profit?
There's profit that's there, but all the profit is rolling into the business at this point. Our margin is around 22%.
Okay.
So the margin's pretty good. We are trying to focus a lot more on some of those advertising revenue streams, but our biggest issue that we have right now is maintaining the product stream. Because the product stream is moving so quickly, and every time that we think we have it under control, it's moving quicker. So like Stephanie said, we have 2 full containers coming, and by the time the main one hits the ground, we're going to have to order another one. Before it even really gets to the warehouse, we're going to have another one in the wings getting built to backfill that. So that's every last bit of anything is going into that piece.
So cash has been a big constraint up until this point. If you had 100K, you would be selling more in the business faster. Is that right?
If I had 100K, I'd probably have 4 containers coming right now.
Yeah. The part is the 2 products, because as you know, you can't piggyback on reviews, right? As far as launching a product, even if it's branded under the same, we've got the opportunity to do banner ads and things like that, but we can't piggyback on the success of the one product. So we've still got to go back and do all the work into that to push that piece to see that growth.
Yeah. I'm brand registered, so I'm going to do my storefront and do, the matrix with all the products. And of course the main product will be my highlight. And the banner ads and all the rest. I'm in brand registry 2.0 because I got the trademark in January. So yeah, but it's going to take a lot of ads and some social. I'm working with a few social media peeps to help me figure out that piece, because just like pay-per-click last year, me with social media this year, I have no idea.
What are both you guys' corporate backgrounds?
I did food and beverage for, like I said, I'm a recovering chef of 22 years and a professional sommelier. And I did a lot of regular sort of 5-star hotel resort stuff. And I recently, in the last 4 or 5 years, went into the corporate dining piece of it so that I could actually have a life and see my beautiful wife more than just when I went to bed and when she got up.
He manages the corporate dining program at Intel.
Well, I manage a very small piece of it.
Don't be modest. Okay, you be modest. He's got a huge staff, and yeah. My corporate background, so I have a history in hospitality as well. About, oh gosh, am I aging myself now? 10 years or so. I went back to school. I have my MBA in energy finance. So I actually was the subject matter expert for tax equity investments into renewable energy projects, which was super exciting, and I was very passionate about it, but the industry is just all over the place. I've had, 2 corporations that I work for go bankrupt, and, I've been trying to do this to kind of buffer that because it's just all over the place.
So Stephanie, would you say you're spending full time on Poolside Creations now?
Yes, I am.
And is that your ideal plan, to just work on that and not have to go back to some other job?
I will never work in corporate America.
And does that mean that you'll start pulling a salary, or just that you guys are just going to make do off Michael's?
At this point, there's no salary to pull.
Yeah.
If it came down to a point where, Stephanie could pull a salary and we could hire people, then for sure.
So the plan actually is I want to get the business up to the point where he can come in as my wholesale guy, because he's got so many industry contacts. We can sell these things to wedding planners. I may have a friend who gave them to the guy at the MGM Grand in Vegas who might be interested. So I want Michael to be my wholesaler, because he's super good at sales and he knows everybody in the industry.
The cash constraint that we mentioned earlier, I'm curious if you have tried to get traditional loans or other ways to get money to grow the business.
We are leveraged to the hilt right now. I did apply for an SBA loan for $50K, and I got turned down due to not enough time in business, even though we're, personally guaranteeing it our income. So we got shot down on that. We have some hard money investors, which is expensive. So, I prefer to have more traditional ways of lending, but, it's a new business. It's hard to get funding.
Amazon in itself, of course, is like the 800-pound gorilla as far as distribution channel or sales channels go. What you mentioned, potential wholesaling in the future. Are there other sales channels that you guys are considering or want to heavily invest in?
I started a Shopify store. So I have my own website, and then within that, I've got the tab of, for Amazon Prime. And then the other tab is, I haven't decided on the name for it yet, but it'll basically be for non-Prime members. So I can drive people to my Shopify store. I'm working with a guy from ClickFunnels to use that to drive traffic to my site. So, I like working on Amazon too, but I want to really diversify those channels and drive people to our site.
What are some other things you think could result in major wins for the business in the next year or two?
Some more wholesale business would be nice, because that's something where you can get the deposit to push the product, and you're not going to be on the hook for it quite as much. So it's a little bit easier.
So you haven't really been part of this, because this has been my thing that I've been working on since I lost my job.
Surprise!
A lot of secrets are coming out of this interview.
I'm in negotiations with 2 different companies to be their exclusive vendor of their product.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
Well, you don't know about the second one.
I don't know about the second one. Wow. And to think that she possibly could have briefed me for one moment.
Baby, it happened at 1 a.m. So I was literally, I woke you up. It was 1 a.m. and I was emailing with my translator with a factory and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, go to bed. And I was like, no, I'm working. So yeah, my translator is full in it with helping me with this other factory because I want to be their exclusive vendor in the U.S.
I want to know what you're going to do with the money. We haven't got to that part yet.
What they do with the 10K?
Yeah.
Money is for the launch plan.
For the new products.
Yeah.
Ads primarily?
Ads and social media injections and getting some influence work done. It's essentially because everything is so tied up in just product right now, in inventory, which is not a great place to be, but it's not as bad as not having inventory.
Mm.
Yeah.
And because we leverage so much of our personal finances into it. That's what we're looking for, something so that when we do actually do this launch, it's successful. We don't want it to be slow. We want to be able to hit, Memorial Day. We want to be able to hit the summer and the 4th really hard. We want to be able to make sure we're well established by the time that the holiday sales season comes along, because that's really where your big push is going to be, and that's where you're going to see those drastic changes.
This does seem like a very nice plastic wine glass. But being the SOM you are, give us a little rundown about what differentiates your product from others.
One of the biggest things that differentiates ours from others, aside from, you can feel the weight in it. Aside from that is the shape. We looked really, really hard at the shape of the glass and how the glass has an effect on wine, because this is a huge thing. There's studies on this that would blow your mind.
Wine Week.
Yeah. The gold standard of the wine glass is Riedel. We probably can't mention their name. But anyway, they've done a lot of research on bowl. You have the bowl and you have the mouth. And what happens is when you have wine in a glass, all the ester and alkalides, all the different alcohols come off and they capture in the glass, and how they come out affects what you smell. So if you smell violets in a glass that's shaped like this, you might smell skunk cabbage in a glass that's shaped like this because it doesn't capture it correctly. So shape was the big thing that we were looking for initially, and then was quality. There was what we noticed on all the Amazon comments everywhere was the rims, that the rims were very sharp. Mm-hmm. So we wanted something with a really nice soft rim that didn't hurt your lip when you put it in your mouth. And another one was just, these other wine glasses, you can take them and you can squeeze them. And if you want to squeeze this, you have to work pretty hard to squeeze this glass. Like it could almost be a workout routine, maybe 5 minutes, 5-minute workout routine.
It doesn't smell.
It does. Oh yeah. And there's the silicone ones, and there's the glasses that just smell bad.
Yeah, like these, just like they smell. This material is all, it's Triton.
Yeah.
It's a patented material made by Triton USA, so the material is all made in the US.
It's all BPA, BPE
free, totally dishwasher safe. And ours, a lot of them, because they're flimsy, they melt in the dishwasher, even though they're dishwasher safe. So these bad boys can go through.
They can go through high heat.
A commercial dishwasher. Like Michael took a case of these to his big old commercial dishwasher and put the whole rack through. Like we have tested these things in every condition.
And if one of these will keep you from throwing out, 100 of these or 1,000 of these, that's a good thing. They're completely recyclable, but the durability on it, we still have the original ones that we've got when we got samples. They're a little banged up. They're a little scratched up. They've seen the test of time, but they're almost 2 years old.
And we took them on a 3-week vacation to Panama. That was our product testing. We went on a surf trip to Panama, and we were like, okay.
And that's, we did the same.
How do we mess with these things?
We did the same things with these too. We looked for shape. We looked for quality. It's a much higher level of durability than any other Triton glass that's on the market. And there's a lot. There's a lot out there. We knew what we were getting into, but we also probably know the market and know the product better than the other people. So that's where we leveraged our expertise, our passion as an advantage.
How are you priced competitively? It seems like you have an opportunity to go high end with, your story and your background and all the care you've put into the glass. When I look at Amazon, are you one of the cheaper ones, more expensive ones?
I'm in the more expensive tier. But I'm kind of on the low end of that, and that's because I ran out of inventory, and so I'll likely raise my price by $2 to $3 as we roll into the season. Mm-hmm. But I've had to relaunch every time I run out of inventory, and that is hard. So I'll sell them anywhere from $20 to $23, and I've even sold them for $25. Like on July 4th, I was like, let's see what happens. And I think that was probably the most expensive price of any of my competitors. And I still ran out of inventory.
Maybe you should stay at $25.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the problem, so those fluctuations are, with Amazon, it's like the more the more sales velocity you have, the more you sell. And so if you raise your price too much, then your sales fall. And so that's why I want to diversify into these other channels, because the market has told us we can get $25 for this product. And with Amazon, it's been difficult for me. I mean, if we had all the inventory that we could, and I put my price at $25 and we didn't have to worry about running that out of inventory, like, by all means, I would go for it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are crushing it on reviews, right? You're like pretty much one of the only ones, or the only one, with like over 100 reviews and still 5 stars, which is pretty amazing. So it is like a very legitimate product, right? It's much better than most of these.
We've had some good reviews too. Like one of my favorite 3-star reviews was, "These look like great glasses, but I haven't used them yet. They were a gift."
3 stars.
Which I bought them for you, but I thought that's great. I mean, it's a nice, honest review.
What are you guys' not that this isn't a real important thing on Amazon, but what are your thoughts for the future of your branding and packaging?
These are the ones that arrived in they came on pallets to our garage so that we could, we had a lot of loss from that one. So I went, I started with Fiverr, and now I have a super pro designer, and she is just like pumping out all kinds of stuff for me.
Is this your Fiverr person, or this is your pro?
This is my pro.
Okay.
This is going to remain within the same overall scheme, but it's going to have some differences. So it'll look as though it's part of the line, but some of the design elements are going to reflect the item that is inside of it and how different it is, if that makes any sense. And I am also thinking of starting a winter line, because I have a lot of customers who ski, they like to sit in the hot tub, and the winter line, blue and white, work very perfectly also as company colors. So I can have a sub line that's more geared toward like ski resorts.
We have 2 last questions for you guys. And then after that, we will give you some of our initial thoughts on the overall pitch and business. How does that sound?
Yeah, great. Sounds good.
Any final thoughts on why you should win the $10,000 prize?
If you give us the 10 grand and we hit our goal of becoming $1 million sellers, we're going to turn around and give it back, because we have learned so much from this community, all the free content that you guys share. And I couldn't have done it without this guy. I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't have done it without anybody in the community. And I just want to turn around and give that back and support the next seller who wants to really achieve their dreams and crush their goals.
Great. And the last question is, after listening to this, I'm sure some people are interested in purchasing these Poolside creation glasses. Where is the best place for them to find and purchase them?
So they can either find them on Amazon Prime if they're an FBA member. I also have a website, www.poolsidecreations.com. Very easy to remember. And my Shopify store is integrated on a tab in there, so you can buy them through my Shopify store as well.
Great. Thank you guys very much. So Laura, after hearing this pitch and answering your questions, what are your initial thoughts or advice that you would give to Stephanie and Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really exciting business because you've clearly created a great product, right? Which at the end of the day, I think is the most important part. Your Amazon reviews have proved that you really do have something better. Greg brought up the look. That was one of the first things that I thought as well. I think you can go way more high end with your packaging. Packaging looks a little cheap and a little homemade. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. And especially with your story, like you mentioned weddings, I could totally see brides being like, oh, I have to have the Poolside Creations glasses for my wedding. I don't want the cheap glasses, or selling to resorts or hotels or whatever. And along those lines too, there isn't branding on the cup. I know you don't have a huge opportunity, but a tiny logo on the bottom because it's such a great word of mouth. You're at a friend's house, you're like, this is nice. Like, what is this? Or if you're at a hotel or something and you want to get it for your home. So I think you're absolutely on the right track. You're clearly, figuring stuff out, right, with the ads and making it all work. And yeah, I wouldn't be scared to go high end and really play up your story and talk about how terrible the wine's going to smell if you use any other glass.
Thank you. And my next order may have my trademark stamped on the bottom of the glass.
Awesome.
Nice. Well, I guess the first thing, like with a lot of physical products companies, you guys as included, you're not the only ones running into this problem. You just need more cash, right? That's what's like, you figured out the Amazon game. Once you've launched one product successfully, you can do more. Some will be more successful, some will be less successful in your first one, but like you know how it works. It's not like that hard once you kind of figured it out. You just need more cash to scale this up, right? So if it was me, now that you've figured it out, depending on your personality type, like me personally, like I'm willing to like take some risks. So I'd probably be willing to maybe like sell part of the company, like for cash, like bring in a partner that maybe doesn't have any skills, and doesn't really contribute from a business standpoint, but would invest their cash into that. I think that'd be an option. Or
they could have skills. You're like bringing a partner with those skills.
Yeah. Well, at this point, you got the skills. You just need more cash to scale this thing up, right? So that's something I would think about. And then I would actually, when you are just focusing on the Amazon sales channel, I don't think packaging and branding is that big of a deal. People are buying based off of the reviews, the photos, the price, like mainly those things, right? So packaging is not a huge deal. I do agree with Laura though. Like if you want to kind of like move out of just the Amazon niche, that, this really is like a high-end plastic wine glass, right? And that's your value prop. That's like your differentiating factor is like, this is a legit, really nice plastic wine glass, like probably nicer than any other one on Amazon. But I guess like the branding doesn't convey that message to me personally. I also, I heard you talk about kind of like the summer versus like the winter type lines. If it was me, I think I would kind of like ditch the whole like thought of like the season thing and instead just go for more of like a Rydell type brand, right? Like when you see like a Rydell, like my wife bought some of these. She's a big wine drinker. She thinks it's cool to have these nice glasses. Like the box was like, it's pretty impressive, right? Like you see this Rydell box, like you open it up, it's like the wine glasses fit in there perfectly and stuff. It's pretty impressive. I think like if you guys are going that route, that may go a long way with some of your customers. So that's like just one thought.
You talked about pursuing some influencer marketing, and the whole Instagram and video review unboxing is a very real thing. So especially, you see the glass in person, you can definitely tell it's a high quality glass. Someone holding it on Instagram, it might, look sort of similar to a lot of wine glasses, but if they can do the beautiful, unboxing, the high-end foam, and they're perfectly fitted, I think, that could add a lot to your value proposition.
Nice job, guys. We love the enthusiasm and the overall just spirit you've brought to this interview. It made it very fun for us. And hopefully all the listeners are following along with the video as well so they can see that.
Awesome. And thank you guys so much for your time and the insight. That's greatly appreciated. So
thanks for having us on.
Thanks for listening to the Go Pitch Win podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us an honest review over on iTunes. Do you have a new business that needs seed money or a new project that you're ready to get up and going? There's a $10,000 prize for the winning pitch. So what are you waiting for? Get your pitching skills ready and apply over at gopitchwin.com. Join us for the next episode to hear more great business ideas and, of course, find out who will win the grand prize to make their business dreams come true.